Welcome back to Unstitching ADHD Urban Ed Talks. Today we are honored to have Dr. Eva Thomas join us. Dr. Thomas is a dynamic school leader who is making waves in a New York State urban district. With her innovative approaches and unwavering commitment to student success, Dr. Thomas is reshaping education for learners with diverse needs, especially ADHD. Join us as we dive into our insights and strategies for creating inclusive and supportive environments where all students can thrive. Welcome, Dr. Thomas.
Thank you, Dr. Stanley Ikio, for inviting me to your awesome podcast this evening. I'm so honored to be here with you this evening.
Thank you. Can you tell us a brief description of your background and experience?
I sure can. I am the proud mother of 3 children, and I have a wonderful husband. I have shared my educational journey. It began um, in college at Delaware State University, where I received my bachelor's in elementary education. And then I moved forward on to Nazareth College with a degree in special education and wanted to continue my journey and received a dual certification in administration building and district level at St. John Fisher University. And my ultimate goal was to work towards my educational doctorate degree in executive leadership. My dissertation was based on the social emotional needs of early childhood students. I have enjoyed my educational journey. I am definitely a lifelong learner. I have been a part of the Rochester City School District for the past 23 years. I began my teaching journey, however, with Eugenio Maria de Hostos Charter School for 2.5 years and was recruited by the Rochester City School District in 2003. The experience of being a teacher, an assistant principal, a senior director of youth development and family services, a principal of an early childhood program, a director of the early childhood program, and I am currently a turnaround principal for an expeditionary learning school, school number 10 here in the city of Rochester. But this will come to a close on July 1st, as I have been appointed as the new executive director of early childhood education and definitely making history as the first African American executive director of early childhood. So it's been a wonderful journey of learning and allowing my scholars and family and partners to help me learn about education and how our scholars think. And my favorite quote is, "It takes a village to raise a child." And my favorite scripture is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ is strengthened.
Thank you very much, Dr. Thomas. Congratulations. We are really proud to share this moment with you. It's really a great accomplishment. So, Dr. Thomas, could you share some of the unique challenges you have encountered in supporting students with diverse learning needs, especially ADHD?
Well, in regards to students with unique challenges, we often don't know about those challenges until we begin to build relationships with our scholars. And so there are challenges of students who have a hard time sitting still, who have a hard time focusing, um, um, sensory strategies, maybe some deep breathing strategies, breaks throughout the day, time to talk. Um, this year, they're feeling an opportunity for them to go to possibly a calm down room or just have time with a special or favorite staff so that they can have that time to get through the day. We also find that there may be a crossover with ADHD with mental health, and some of our students aren't able to articulate how they're feeling. And so sometimes there are tantrums. There are children who may hit or lash out or run or elope or just sit quietly and will not move. And so there is a range of unique challenges that we face on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, depending on the circumstance, depending on students who may have some trauma, also depending on just the makeup of the child and their dynamic DNA makeup or generational things that they've inherited that have been passed down from generation to generation.
So, talking about having students with ADHD, how have you been able, or what has been your approach to creating an inclusive and supportive school culture that addresses these diverse needs of students?
Well, I will tell you, it is not an easy road, but I will tell you that in my school community and wherever I am doing this wonderful work with teachers and students and partners, we are very restorative. We are a responsive classroom community. And what that means is we take time to have SEL time in the morning. It is mandatory the first 30 minutes of the day that we sit in a circle and we hear from our students. We hear all voices in the classroom. And so the students lead the crew. We call it crew because we're expeditionary learning school. So the students lead the SEL crew circle in the morning every day after they have breakfast. So from 9 to 9:30, students share. They may play a collaborative game, or they share how their weekend went or their night went. They'll share their academic goals, or they'll share if they're feeling not so great, or if they're feeling great and why they're feeling great. We also have a system in place for all classrooms. With a responsive classroom, all classroom teachers must have a calm down area, must have a buddy teacher, must have a system of supports in place before students are sent to the principal's office. The goal is for me as a principal and my assistant principal to never see kids with negative behavior. And so it began with calm down room, the calm down corner, time out for them to think, buddy teacher, might be a phone call home for support. And then we use our support staff. We have Center for Youth staff. We have a safety and security officer. Everyone in the building is restoratively trained. So anyone that encounters our students are restoratively trained. So they know how to speak in a restorative way. We also have what we call our Cooper character trait. So when we are correcting our students, we're using those traits. Oh, I see you're not being a leader today. Oh, I want you to be courageous and finish that test. Oh, you're not done. I want you to persevere and complete your homework assignment in class. Oh, you are an awesome leader. I see you're being responsible for your own action. So we have these 6 traits that we use as restorative language. The last person they will see will be me. And my hope is that they never see me except for the great things that they do. And so that is the order that we use. The teacher is always in control, making sure that children are handled in a respectful and responsible and restorative way,
Right.
or they see me.
Can you explain for those who don't understand what the acronym CEL means and also expand on the expeditionary learning program you just talked about?
Oh, social emotional learning. So we are an expeditionary learning school. Our school was actually founded by competent teachers and a role. And what expeditionary learning is, our students learn how to problem solve and research problems that are occurring in their community. Or they may like to research a topic that they're interested in. So I'll give you an example. Right now, our students are working on case study 2 with expeditionary learning. There are 3 case studies. There's a launch, the topic that they're studying, and then there are 3 case studies that they do. Throughout the case studies, they're taking pictures, they're taking notes, and they're researching their topic. Right now, kindergarten is researching weather. First grade is researching how the earth revolves around the sun. Okay, how day and night occur. Second grade is studying. Third grade is studying the bird's habitat. Fourth grade is studying sound waves. Fifth grade is studying the ecosystem. And sixth grade is studying heroes in their community, African American heroes in their community. So every couple of weeks, they do a different case study and they share their findings. And then at the end, there's a big celebration called an exhibition day. And we usually have about 100 to 150 people from all over the community. They come in and our students stand and deliver and share what they learned about their topic that they're studying. This is an awesome way for students to receive information about critical things that are going on in their community, but also to learn and grow while they're engaging in informational tech.
Could you elaborate on any specific programs or interventions you have implemented to support students with ADHD in your school? What outcomes have you observed?
Sure. So, there is a sixth grade young man who I had last year. Brilliant, brilliant young man. Managed to make poor choices. A student, positive, but the choices he made when he was around his peers would sometimes get him in trouble. And so we really had to teach him some strategies about before he makes a decision to slow down, count, slow down, think about it first before doing it, and before opening his mouth to respond. To young girls, stop, slow down, think about it before saying it. It took a little while, but he eventually did very well
Hmm.
because unfortunately in the beginning, he used to say hurtful things to young ladies and his friends. He was a young man who always had to move,
Hmm.
jump around, run around in the classroom. And so we knew we had to give him more time to get some of that energy out. So we would make sure that he had opportunities to go for free gym because he
Hmm.
was one of the students who would finish his work early, right? And so we gave him opportunities to be a helper in the building. He was on student government. He actually was the president of our student government last year.
Hmm.
He was on safety patrol. He would go for open gym for basketball. So what we did was we filled the void that was missing in regards to ADHD with things that would stimulate his mind in a positive way. And we begin to see things decrease. And we would begin to keep him busy with positive things. And he ended up becoming a great role model for all the scholars in the building.
That's that's interesting. I love stories like that. Let's look at collaboration. Uh, we know collaboration between educators, parents, and other stakeholders is crucial in supporting students with ADHD. How do you foster effective communication and cooperation between these groups?
So what I do is I have a social emotional learning team. We meet every Tuesday and we look at students who are kind of, we call like showing us a little red flag, but they might need a little extra support. And at this meeting, we're looking at our general ed population of students. And so we sit down and we look at all the things that the teacher is concerned about. And then we try to come up with a plan or some strategies. And then we ask to meet with the parent and the teacher. And we say, let's try these strategies. Let's give it a try. And if it doesn't work, let's come back to the table. But before we do any of that, really, we really talk to the parent. What works at home? What things um, positive for your child? What things uh, do not work and upset your child? We want to learn about the whole child, the social, emotional, physical, mental, all of that. We want to learn everything we can about our children. And then from that perspective, we try some resources that research based resources that we think would work. And then we also may reach out to a behavior specialist to get some ideas and have them come to do some observation. And also our psychologist was on that team. So on my team, I have a social worker, I have a counselor, I have a psychologist. I am there, and usually one of the teachers will be invited and will share their concerns.
Let's talk about socioeconomic factors. We know that socioeconomic factors, based on research, can significantly impact a student's ability to thrive academically, especially when coupled with ADHD. How do you address these intersecting challenges in your school community?
So we are a school community that has an administrator who is a community liaison specialist. One of my strengths is I am connected to many community partners due to my past work as a service coordinator. I used to work with children in crisis and help families get all of the resources they need to get them out of crisis. As at our school, we meet with the parent if they're having any concerns. We immediately connect them with the resources they need to support them. We're big on posting jobs, letting them know when free resources like food from Food Link are given out once a month. We have a lot of activities uh, at our school. My school is open till 6:30.
Mm.
I provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I have an after school program. I partner with many organizations. I'm partnered with the Boys and Girls Club. I have a 21st Century grant, and we are in our second year of that grant. It is a 5-year grant. Also, just partnered with Urban League of Rochester. We got a $100,000 grant. The kids are receiving resources such as karate. They're receiving support with STEM. There is a girls group. We have a Girl Scout troop. We have homework club, literacy club, writing club, open gym. We have several activities. First of all, it gives our parents a break, right? They don't have to rush from work to get home. Once the children are fed, they can come home, take a bath, and go to bed. Their homework's done. They have dinner. We have uh, workshops here for our parents. We have about 50 to 60 mothers and 50 to 60 fathers that come every month. It's called Moms on the Move and All Pro Dad. We support the entire family in our school community because that's what it means when I say it takes a village to raise a child. Everybody doing their part and collaborating makes it a special place in schools for children.
Let's talk about training. Do you have any, or can you share with us if you have trainings that your staff members are exposed to that is ADHD specific?
Yes. So we have our psychologist who has shared trainings with us on elopement plans, on how to really support students with collecting behavioral data and how that data is taken and then used in a positive way to give them the resources they need. We also support our culturally responsive framework for New York State. I just trained on that. We also have individuals that come in from human capital improvement, which is our personnel department that train culture responsive teaching and the whole child. We also have state exam and tests and PD that we take regularly. We just were assigned about 6 courses from New York State from the Vector courses that are offered by New York State about how to de-escalate behaviors, how to work with challenging behavior, uh, how to work with diverse learners. So there are several different courses in the Vector program through New York State that you could take in this independent learning, but they are mandated for all educators in Rochester City School District. And so you take those courses and you have an extended amount of time throughout the year to take them and be done with them before the year. We also use our Office of Professional Learning, which also provides many courses for our classroom teachers, support staff, as well as our administrators.
Finally, what advice would you give to other school leaders or educators striving to create more inclusive and supporting environments for their students with ADHD?
I call it the B's, Dr. Stanley E. Gill. Be patient,
Mm,
be proactive, be persistent with finding research based practices that work. Be supportive and collaborative with all stakeholders, parents, community partners, your teachers, your peer professionals, your support staff. Be a good listener and allow our children to tell their stories and that you hear their voice first before you.
I like that. Is there any other thing you would like to share before we wrap up this session that I missed in my questioning that you would want to let our listeners know?
Well, when our students come and they have ADHD, which we call OHI, the health impaired, they come with an IEP. And I always tell my staff that does not define who our scholars are.
Mm,
It is a piece of paper that suggests who our scholars are.
mm,
I have had students, brand new students, who have come into my building and have been just the opposite, loving and appreciative because they felt like they were at home, because they received unconditional love. And I have had scholars who came in with ADHD, and eventually they were able to assimilate in to our school community, did not need a lot of supports that were put on their IEP, and some of the IEP were discontinued, and those scholars just fell. They needed someone to believe in them. I do have one more story I'd like to share, my experience as a sixth grade teacher at a school. And I had a young man. It just so happened I was the one in the building that everyone sent their kids to when their kids were naughty. And I had this one particular sixth grade student, and we were doing hands on activities in my classroom. Now, it was an integrated classroom, which means there were students with special needs, but there were also students of regular education students. So this child was coming to my class. He was in a self contained classroom, sixth grade, 8 students, 2 parents, and a teacher. And what happened was he began to come to my class, do his work, but watch what I was doing with
mm,
the other sixth grade students.
mm,
And he came like 3 times. And then he said, I want to stay here.
mm,
And I said, You do? I said, Well, what do you have to do to stay here? He says, I have to do my work. I have to be respectful. And I have to let you know if I'm having a bad day so that you can help me. And I was like, wow. I said, let's talk with the principal and let's talk with your mother and your parent. Well, to make a long story short, they discontinued his IEP and they put him in my classroom and he excelled and he graduated at the top of the sixth grade class. And he was so happy and so was honored. All you have to do is believe in our children that they can succeed. If you believe in them, they will move every mountain for you.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas, for sharing your insights and strategies for supporting students with ADHD in urban educational settings. Your dedication to creating inclusive and supportive environment is truly inspiring. And to our listeners, we hope you found today's discussion enlightening and informative. Remember, every student deserves the opportunity to strive. Join us again for more insightful conversations on Unstitching ADHD Urban Ed Talks. Until next time, have a great day. Thank you.